they're everywhere, right? You could live in a city or a village, in a mansion or a bungalow. Your father could be a lord, or your mother a lorry driver. Drugs affect all of us. But there's a lot of rubbish talked about drugs, and most people just don't know the facts, even if they think that they know it all. So, let's try to get nearer the truth. Today, we're going to talk to someone who knows a lot about drugs because he has been there, done that, and dribbled over the t-shirt. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Easy. Hi, Easy. Thanks for coming on the show.
It's great to be here.
Easy, you've had a crazy roller coaster life. Down one moment, up the next. What was the absolute best time of your life?
Right now, I've dealt with my drug problems, I'm back with my wife Sonia and our children, and my work's going great.
So, the worst times were when you were high on drugs?
Well, no actually. They were some of the best times.
Hey, I thought that you'd come on the show to tell us about all the problems that drugs had caused you.
I've come on the show to tell the truth about drugs, Vicky. Or the truth as I see it, anyway.
If you had such a good time taking drugs, why don't more people take them?
Why doesn't everyone take drugs? When I was younger, I thought that drugs were great, and I didn't understand why all the kids didn't try them. I didn't realise their downside.
Yeah, they can seem great at the time, but the side effects can be nasty.
I know why a lot of people like me took drugs. Life can sometimes be really horrible. Drugs seem to improve things. You know, life can be boring for young people, and some drugs can change all that, and they can do it very quickly. They can get you out of the everyday routine, and they can make life more interesting.
In what way?
Well, boredom can quickly become excitement, and feeling low can turn to feeling high. And you can go instantly from being left out to being in and feeling cool.
Sounds great. So where's the catch?
You like to talk on your mobile phone, Vicky?
Of course, sure I do.
But it's a shock when you get the bill.
Yeah, I have some majorly big bills, I can tell you.
Well, that's a bit like taking drugs. All that talking on the phone is great fun, but at the end of the month there's a price to pay. Now, most people can manage to pay their phone bill, but with drugs, the cost can be too high for anyone to pay.
What was on your bill, Easy?
There were a lot of pricey items. My health suffered, my career was in ruins, I got in trouble with the law, and my relationships were in a total mess. In fact, I was lucky that I didn't pay with my life.
The problem was that you didn't take any notice of those costs building up. Did you know your credit limit?
I guess not.
How did it begin?
Well, it started when I was at school. I guess I just wanted to be one of the gang. I had my first fag with this bunch of guys who I thought were really cool. They spent their break time smoking fags. The first time I tried it, I coughed my lungs up, but in a day or two, after plenty of practice, I was puffing with the rest of them.
And you didn't think of saying no?
Well, then I could never have been cool.
Did you think you were cool?
Oh yes, definitely. So, right, I'll get on this bus, right? I'll get on this bus, and I say to the driver, I say to him, I say, what is it, right? Meaning the fare, right? You know, what is it, right? And he goes, it's a bus, it's a bus.
Sounds like you were really cool.
I thought I was, but I was just acting stupid.
The drug was cannabis, right?
Yeah, right.
And there were no side effects?
I didn't know it at the time, but they say smoking a few spliffs of cannabis is like smoking loads of fags, because you inhale it and hold the smoke in your lungs.
Yeah, all that tar is really bad for you. What happened next?
My girlfriend Sonia and I were hanging out at this club called Clone. We loved it. We loved the people and we loved the music. One night we were dancing and I looked up and saw this guy on the turntables doing his dubby scratchy thing, and I thought to myself, I could do better than that. Yeah, I really could do better than that. Then I could see myself up there, serving up fat tunes, playing the crowd, you know. I was convinced I'd found my true vocation.
How did you know it wasn't a drug-induced fantasy?
Yeah, it was a bit, yeah. I was taking a lot then. Every day, in fact. Every day and every time of day. When I was really stoned, I got kind of paranoid. Sometimes I didn't know what was real and what was fantasy. It made me feel very uncomfortable.
So, did you give it up then?
Yeah, well, pretty much. Yeah, you see, I managed to get a foot in the door. I convinced Mr. Big, that's the boss of the place, to give me a break as a DJ.
So, you had your day job in the city and you were DJing in the club at night?
Yeah, it was a strain, so I needed to keep it together, calm the old nerves. A couple of drinks helped me to cope.
A couple of drinks?
Well, okay, more than just a couple actually. We could never just have a couple. My pal Dave actually died from alcohol. We went to his funeral, but we didn't discuss it. I guess we didn't like to face up to our problems then.
And what happened to you?
I started doing lots of E's and acid.
This was LSD and ecstasy, right?
Yeah, that and various other stuff. All kinds of pills, in fact. We didn't always know what we were taking. Whatever I could get my hands on, you name it, I took it, Vicky.
Isn't it dangerous when you don't know what you're taking?
Yeah, it was pretty stupid.
It looks like you were having a weird time.
Yeah, sometimes it was fun, but most of the time it was just stupid.
Seems to me that you were out of control.
I suppose I was. I did some things that I regret, but I did take some precautions, like making sure if I took ecstasy that I drank enough water, for example.
But not too much, right?
But on the whole, I was doing okay. I was having a great time at night, and during the day I had a fantastic job. It was very well paid in the city.
So, what went wrong?
Well, one Monday morning, Mr. Money Talks, that was my boss, calls me into his office. He tells me I'm not meeting my targets and there are rumours around the office. When I ask him, what rumours? He says he wants me to take a test. A random drug test. It was about as random as a smart bomb, to be honest. I couldn't believe it. I mean, everyone was at it. Even the company directors were out of their heads a lot of the time.
So, what was it? Heroin?
Nah, I hadn't started using skag then.
Cocaine?
Charlie, yeah. Not much. Only enough to get me out of bed, but enough to get me fired.
So, how did losing your job affect you?
It was pretty bad, yeah. With no job, I had no money and I got in debt. But then I got a regular slot at the club and started working there all the time. And I moved in with Sonia.
And did you give up the drugs?
No, they don't give DJs drug tests. Well, not yet anyway.
And you had a baby too. Quite a juggling act. How did you keep it all together?
I didn't. I thought that the drugs were helping me to juggle, but I was dropping the balls all over the place and not noticing.
But how did you manage to run the club?
I thought I was running things, but I was too wasted to see that actually I was being exploited. £20. 20 stinking quid. I thought it was 50. I'll get a 50 off him tonight, I said. It's going to be a great night at the club tonight. It's all promises with you, she says. Just stop coming home with an empty wallet and a bloody nose and stinking of alcohol. Do you understand? But actually, it's no secret now. Sonia was doing her share of the drugs at the time as well.
That can't have helped.
So, I decided to have it out with Mr. Big. I figured by now he'd find it hard to do without me. But I'd never been very good at confrontations, so before I spoke to him, I needed a large drink and a big spliff. I asked him for more money, a lot more money, but he offered me a partnership. I thought I was right, he couldn't afford to lose me. No need to worry about the small print, he says. Partnership is based on trust, after all. Just sign here. Let's drink on it, he suggests.
But wasn't he just manipulating you?
Yeah, you're right, but I didn't see it. Sonia did, of course. So, where's the money, she asks me. I'm a partner. Now Mr. Big will split the profits with me. I tried to tell her, but she said I was too drunk, too stoned, and whatever else to see that he was ripping me off. I guess I should have listened to her. So, the next night after we'd closed up, he asks me to drop off the night's takings into the night safe on the way home. Take care, he says, that's our money now. I was chuffed. I was so pleased he trusted me. If I hadn't been so mashed, I might have seen it coming.
So you lost all the money?
Yeah, all of it. Remember what I said about trust, he tells me? A very delicate thing. I mean, if you can't trust your partner, who can you trust? And I trusted you. That was my money, Easy, and you, my employee, will pay me back. Every last penny. Do I make myself clear? Yeah, clear as crystal. I was screwed.
Sounds like a nightmare. How did Sonia take it?
Well, that was when we split up. I was so gutted. But I didn't keep in touch, and Sonia did the best she could without me. Irresponsible of me, I know, but I felt really guilty, and I was so unhappy.
I'm not surprised. Things were falling apart. How did you deal with it?
The only way I knew how.
More alcohol? More drugs?
More drinking, more drugs, yeah. Now I got a heroin habit. I guess I was feeling so bad about myself that nothing seemed to matter anymore. At first the heroin was a comfort. It made all the pain go away, and then I just needed it to feel okay. And then there was more bad luck.
Bad luck or bad judgment?
I was at my dealer's flat scoring some dope, and it got busted. I was so out of it, I'm the only one who didn't manage to get out. So yeah, guess who carried the can? Then I got banged up, 2 years in the nick, and it wasn't even my gear. I've never been a dealer in my life, but the law didn't see it.
What was prison like?
Well, it wasn't a cruise on a luxury liner, I can tell you. It was depressing, very depressing. After I'd got over the cold turkey from coming off my heroin habit, that was pretty horrible, I had time to think, and I realised that I'd not been feeling good about myself for years. Perhaps this was why I'd been losing myself in drugs. I was trying to find a different sort of me. Well, it's hard to find yourself in prison, and I came out feeling much worse than I went in.
So you did learn something from prison?
Yeah, I learnt that I was set up. That's what I learned. It was a set-up. My cellmate knew the 2 guys who jumped me. He then told me Mr. Big had paid them to do it. And do you know how much he paid them? Yeah, 20 quid. 20 stinking quid. I don't know who was more stupid, them or me.
Did you get advice while you were in prison about readjusting to the outside world?
Oh yeah, don't drink, don't take drugs, stay away from your old friends. But it's difficult when you've got no new friends. I tried to get back with Sonia. I told her how sorry I was and how I wanted to try again, how it'd be different this time, how I'd be different. But she said, take a look at yourself, Easy. Do you really think you can walk back into our lives just like that?
And did you do what she said? Take a good look at yourself?
Yeah, at last. It was a long time coming.
And did you like what you saw?
Well, I'd done a lot of stupid things in my time, and some dangerous things and some bad things. I'd walked out on my family, but I also saw that I had quite a few positive things going for me as well. I was a good DJ, I could get a crowd going. I thought that I could be a good father if only I could get a second chance. And I realised that I did love Sonia very much, and I wanted to be back with her. I knew then that I must change. I realised that if I could learn to value myself and the good things about me, then maybe I wouldn't need the drugs so much.
What do you mean you wouldn't need them so much? You seem to be saying that there is still a place for drugs in your life.
I can't say there isn't. I mean, alcohol's a drug, and I wouldn't like to be without a little drink, a spliff now and again. You know, even coffee, tea and cola have caffeine in them, and that's a drug. But drugs aren't for everyone, and I admire people who can take them or leave them, or not bother with them at all. Basically, some people have great fun taking drugs, but there's always risks, and you can't necessarily see in advance what the risks are. And people like me who keep on taking them, and taking them in large quantities, are the ones who get into trouble. So I'd say, if you take drugs, be aware of the possible consequences, know your limits, and stay in control.
And what if things get out of control, like they did for you?
Ask for help, because there is help out there. And I found that there were people willing to help. All I had to do was just be brave enough to ask for it.
But the people on the end of the helpline can give you information about drugs as well as help with drug problems. So call them if you have any questions. But it wasn't just professional help that got you through, was it? Didn't your friends and family help you too?
That's right, Vicky. It was difficult to ask them for help, but when I did, they were great.
Thanks, Easy. I'm glad that you've got through your problems and found happiness. I think that your story will help others to take care with drugs and get help if they need it.
Thanks, Vicky. I hope so. It was great to be with you and have a chance to tell it my way.
Yeah, it isn't the whole story about drugs, but it's your story.